As you can see, again, I have nest boxes inside the aviary, even though I swore I'd never do it again. But I had no choice this time. Without nest boxes, things got really chaotic. The budgies were getting restless and super destructive. They started chewing on the walls, fighting each other, even around the feeding bowl, because one female decided to lay an egg inside it. They even started digging in the soil outside, probably looking for a place to lay eggs. It was just too much. So yeah, if you want things to stay natural, there still needs to be nest boxes. And honestly, since I put them back, they've calmed down a lot, much more peaceful now. So yeah, lesson learned. Even after I added the nest boxes, they were still fighting, but this time over just one nest box. So I added more, and then more. Eventually, things started to settle. One of the females is clearly more dominant. She always takes over the nest she wants, but the other one just moves on and finds a different box. And when that happens, everything becomes a lot more peaceful. So the key, just make sure there are enough nest boxes. It really helps keep the peace inside the aviary. Now most of them are just doing their own thing. Some of the eggs aren't even fertile. But hey, it's spring. Hormones are everywhere and the budgies are just following nature. What's really important in this situation is making sure the budgies get enough nutrition. Egg laying takes a lot out of the females. It uses up a ton of calcium and energy from their bodies. So I made sure to give them a powerful liquid supplement packed with minerals and vitamins. Just a few drops in the water, and it's enough to cover their needs and support them through this whole breeding phase. It really helps keep them healthy and strong during such an intense time. Sometimes you'll see budgies arguing. It looks like biting, but it's not really a full bite. It's kind of like when your own budgie nibbles on your fingers. It seems aggressive, but unless they unleash full power, it doesn't actually hurt. And that's exactly what I've noticed here. When females claim a nest box, they might warn off other females with a bit of beak action, but they're not trying to seriously hurt anyone. Unless, of course, another female actually goes inside the box. But like I said earlier, when you provide enough nest boxes, no female is going to go on a suicide mission into someone else's nest. They'll just find another box and move on. Problem solved, and the whole aviary stays a lot calmer. When you see budgies walking on the ground, scavenging and exploring, that's a really good sign. It means they feel comfortable and safe. Their natural instincts are kicking in. At that moment, they're no longer just ordinary house pets. They're in full natural mode. And honestly, that makes me really happy to see. I love just sitting back and watching them explore the ground, picking at seeds or little things they find. It's peaceful and shows they truly trust their environment. Because remember, when budgies are scared, they don't stay low. They fly up to the highest perch to feel safe. So when they're confidently walking around on the floor, you know they feel at home. And just a few days later, right when I thought the wall destruction was finally over, boom, new holes. Turns out, I still didn't have enough nest boxes. I actually have more pairs of budgies than I do boxes, so of course some of them started looking for alternative solutions, like digging into the wall again. So yeah, lesson learned once more. If you have a breeding flock, always make sure there are more nest boxes than pairs. Otherwise, the budgies will make their own. It's an easy fix, sure, but that doesn't mean I should just let my budgies go through the stress of destroying walls or fighting for space. At least now, laying eggs happens in a more natural way, and let's be honest, we all love babies. But who knows what will happen next? Are the eggs even fertile? Will the chicks survive? Just because it's more natural doesn't always mean it's safe. With nest boxes in the aviary, anything can happen. That's the reality of budgie life. It's full of surprises. So for now, I'll be watching closely, keeping an eye on their behavior and doing my best to give them the safest, happiest space I can. And now it's confirmed. A lot of eggs are on the way. In just a few days, we'll find out if they're fertile. And who knows, maybe some of them will even start to hatch. It's an exciting time. There's also a chance that some of the chicks may need to be hand-fed. I truly hope it won't come to that, but I'm ready if it does. Thanks for following along, and I'll see you in the next update. And here's what's much more recommended. Dandelion leaves. Budgies love them. They're completely safe and packed with nutrients. Plus, it's a natural foraging treat that keeps them busy and happy. So, instead of using cut grass, I just toss in a few dandelion leaves now and then, and trust me, the budgies go crazy for them. In my previous vlog, we got our first eggs in the nests. Since then, I've been monitoring the nests every single day, keeping an eye on their development, making sure everything is going smoothly. I'm also watching closely for any signs of aggressive females, just in case one tries to jump into another nest. That can sometimes lead to injuries or even killing the chicks, so it's really important to stay alert and step in if needed. The first thing I heard when I stepped into the aviary was a soft little peep peep, the sound of a baby chick calling out to its mother. That tiny sound is always so special. It means life has begun in the nest. And just like that, another journey begins, straight from the aviary. This is day one for this little chick, and right by its side are the proud parents, Mama Pippi and Papa Shrek. A brand new life, a fresh start, and we'll be here to follow every step of the way. I now have 2 baby budgies, and everything looks great so far. They're well fed, active, and developing normally. Mama Pippi is incredibly protective. She almost never leaves the nest unless I come close or try to film. That's why I try to avoid handling the babies right now. I know it's tempting, but it's really not recommended, especially in the early days. It's better to let the mother do her job without stress. In some of the other nest boxes we already have eggs, and one of them is actually the largest budgie egg I've ever seen. So I'm really curious to see what's inside. Maybe a strong chick is on the way. This is day 5 since the first baby budgie hatched in the aviary, and everything is going great so far. I visit the aviary at least twice a day. Once in the morning to give them fresh water and open the door so they can enjoy the sunshine and fresh air. And then again in the evening when it's time to close up and refill all the food bowls with fresh seed and treats. It's part of my daily routine now, and honestly, I love every minute of it. The budgies really enjoy sunbathing during the day. You'll see them just sitting there, soaking up the warmth with their wings slightly open, super relaxed. And this little one, Mila gave her the name Elsa. Well, she just can't resist digging into the wall. Every day, same spot. I definitely need to fix that somehow before she turns the aviary into a tunnel system. It's day 6 since the first chick hatched. The other eggs are still waiting. No new hatches yet, but this little one is already gaining weight and growing in size. You can really see the difference each day. It's amazing how fast budgies grow in their first week of life. It's day 7 since the first budgie chick hatched. I haven't checked the other nests yet, just to avoid disturbing the females, except for Pippi, of course. She's probably used to me by now and stays calm when I take a quick look. And finally, the third chick has hatched. Tiny but already well fed and taken care of by Mama Pippi. She's doing such a great job. And about that hole in the wall problem, I finally got a solution. I decided to make a nest box using a laser cutter. It's quick, simple, and in just half an hour or even less, I had a brand new nest box ready for the budgies. If you're interested, feel free to comment below, and I'll upload the laser cutter file for anyone who wants to make their own. The dimensions are the standard for budgies, 20 by 20 by 20 centimeters with a 5 centimeter entrance hole. Works perfectly and fits right into the setup. This new nest box looks much nicer than my previous design, and the cover is way more functional, making it easier to open and clean when needed. It's complete and almost ready for the budgie. Just one more thing is missing. And the missing piece? It's this, cat bio-organic litter. I've been using it for almost 5 years now, and honestly it's perfect for budgies. It's completely safe, absorbs moisture really well, and keeps the nest dry and clean. Since I started using it, I've never seen splayed legs in baby budgies, which is a huge relief. It's one of those little things that really makes a big difference in keeping the chicks healthy and stable during those first important days. And it's already day 8. Time flies. We now have a tiny flock of baby budgies inside the nest, and the best news is that even the smallest one is getting fed properly by the mother. That's such a good sign. It means I don't need to step in or take over the very demanding job of hand feeding. Mama Pippi is doing an amazing job, and I'm really happy to see everything going so well. While I've been resting and waiting for the materials to arrive for the new aviary build, life inside the current aviary continues beautifully. It's already day 9, and I'm happy to say all the budgies are healthy, active, and there are no signs of injuries or fighting. Everything is calm, balanced, and going just the way it should. It's really rewarding to see them all doing so well. The older baby budgie has already started opening its eyes, such an amazing thing to witness. The little one is doing great too. You can tell just by looking at its full crop. Mama Pippi is taking care of everything perfectly. Honestly, I can't believe it. I finally reached a real sense of harmony and natural order inside the aviary. Everyone has their place, everything feels balanced, and the flock is thriving. While I was taking footage from the other nest boxes, I noticed something interesting. All of them had eggs, as expected. But then there was one strange case, the nest box where Shelly is. I only realized it while I was filming. Something didn't seem right. So now I need to go back up there and check it out again just to be sure. Let's see what's really going on in Shelly's nest. The first thing you hear when you walk into the aviary is a chorus of hungry baby budgies, all calling out for food. It's loud, but honestly, it's the best sound ever. And I've got more exciting news. My new breeding box 7 is already occupied. Looks like the flock wasted no time claiming their new spot. I'll be honest, I was a little scared for the worst when I went to check, but what I found turned out to be something magical. 2 beautiful baby budgies, well fed, healthy and peaceful in the nest. It was such a relief and such a special surprise, and by the looks of it, more might be coming soon. And of course, more holes. Apparently, some of the budgies don't like the nest boxes I gave them, so they've decided to start DIY projects and dig their own homes instead. I've already used over 5 kilos of glue just to patch up all the holes they've made in the walls. It's starting to feel like a full-time job. But hey, when you live with budgies, you learn to expect a bit of chaos. It's day 10 since the first baby budgie hatched in the aviary, and the rest of them are growing very well. Honestly, I can't even tell which one was the first anymore. They're all developing so fast. But what truly matters is that they're all healthy and well fed. And the best part, there are no females invading other nests. Everyone is respecting their space. This is peace in the aviary. It's a joy to watch, and I'm grateful every day for how well things are going. And it's day 13 since the first baby budgie hatched in the aviary. I'm still a bit scared, to be honest. I'm not comfortable disturbing the females or the babies too much. last year taught me that even a small disturbance can trigger aggression. Females might attack each other, or even worse, attack the chicks. So this time I'm keeping interference to a minimum. I just want this breeding season to be successful, peaceful, and safe for every single bird in the aviary. And I just got a new toy, but not for the birds, it's for me. This steam cleaner is going to be a game changer. With it, I can make sure all the toys stay much cleaner and all the dishes are bacteria-free, without using any harsh chemicals. A cleaner environment means healthier budgies, and that's always the goal. And now that I'm using the steam cleaner, it feels much better knowing the dishes are 100% clean, free from any kind of bacteria. This makes it even safer when I pour in liquid vitamins, which I give to the birds every 2 days. No more, no less. It's especially helpful during breeding periods or molting, when birds need that extra nutritional boost to stay strong and healthy. It's already day 14, and day by day the weather is getting nicer and warmer. The birds feel it too. You can see it in their behavior. I mean, Peanut is just Peanut, still completely obsessed with biting fingers every single time. This is happening way too fast. The pin feathers are already coming in and growing so quickly. In just a few more days, we'll start to see their colors. And that's when their little personalities start to shine through even more. The next day it rained the entire day. Perfect time to rest a little. But as for the baby budgies, they're doing really well. From my past experience, I've learned one thing. This time, I'll intentionally start hand feeding the older chick on day 20. That's the best way to build a strong bond with a budgie, a connection that can last a lifetime. Other nest boxes also have baby budgies now. And what's most important, there's no rejection from the mothers, no strange behavior at all. Everyone's doing really well so far. It's already day 17 since the babies hatched. I rushed to check on them. And thankfully, everything looks great. And now you can even start to see their colors coming in. Looks like they'll be just like our Peanut. Beautiful shades of blue starting to show through. Good night, little birdies. It's day 20, and you know what that means. Time to start hand feeding these baby budgies to build the same incredible bond I have with Peanut. What I didn't realize at the time would later turn out to be life-saving for these babies. Hand-feeding budgies is a delicate process, and definitely not recommended for inexperienced bird owners. It's very easy to accidentally harm a baby budgie, whether by overfeeding, using food that's too hot, or giving the wrong type of formula. That's why I only use professionally made bird feeding formula from the pet store. It's specifically designed to be safe and nutritious for baby budgies, giving them the best chance to grow up healthy and strong. While feeding today, I noticed something truly heartbreaking: fresh bite marks all over the babies' tiny bodies. It was horrifying to see. Most likely another female budgie entered the nest by mistake. Or maybe even Pippi, despite being a caring mother, simply couldn't manage feeding all the chicks this time. Whatever the reason, I took them out just in time. Thank God. This quick decision might have saved their lives. I'll be keeping a very close eye on them now, and making sure they get the care and safety they deserve. I feed them every 4 hours for now. They're not used to me yet, so it's much harder in the beginning. They don't open their beaks right away, and sometimes they turn their heads away. But I stay patient, talk to them gently, and make sure the food is warm and safe. And yes, using a syringe for hand feeding is a total game changer. It's so much easier, creates way less mess, and helps you control exactly how much food the budgies get. I actually got mine from Temu, and honestly it's one of the best buys I've made for bird care. Highly recommended if you're hand feeding little ones. But I still need to check the other babies in the nests. If any of them are hurt or not getting enough food, I will have to start hand feeding them too. Everyone seems fine. Their crops are full, and I don't see any injuries. Even Shelly's babies are doing great. They're growing fast and looking strong. It's a big relief to see them all healthy. It's day 21, and I have to say, I'm not very pleased with how the babies are cooperating during feeding. I expected them to be more eager to eat this morning, but they still seem to be missing their mom. It's normal at this stage, especially in the first few days of hand feeding. They're still adjusting to the change, and I'll keep being patient with them. Now every few hours I need to come back and feed the babies. They're still not calling me when they're hungry, very shy little ones. But they're definitely eating more this time and are a bit more cooperative, though they're still making a big mess.
Hey, çok Budgies var.
Fuzzy. Now I feel more relaxed knowing they're getting enough food, and their recovery from the bite marks is surprisingly fast. In just a few days, they'll be fully covered in feathers. I have a lot of baby budgies now, so it's clear I'll need that big aviary in the garden for this growing flock. Someone's already hungry. And it's official. It takes just 3 days for baby budgies to get used to hand feeding. Now, whenever they see me, they start biting my fingers and eagerly waiting for their turn. It makes me a little sad, but also incredibly happy, because without my help, these little ones might not have made it. The injuries on their tiny bodies were likely caused by another female budgie, which can happen when a mother is overwhelmed, unable to feed all her chicks, under stress, or starting to lay eggs again. Sometimes even an intruder tries to take over the nest. It's day 24, and feeding is getting tricky. The syringe started deforming because of the heat from the food, and I was having a hard time getting the right amount to feed the babies. But then, on day 25, good news, I found my old syringe from last year. Maybe you remember I had problems feeding cold food back then. This time I realized the issue wasn't the whole syringe. It was just the metal tip. It gets cold really fast. So here's what I do now. Before each feeding, I squeeze out the first bit of food, because that part cools down in the tip. This way, the warm food reaches the babies right away, and they eat much better. And this little one is messier, but also younger than the other. Both of them are blue, just like Peanut. Maybe you've seen some hand feeders push the syringe directly into the crop, but I never do that. First of all, I'm afraid it could hurt the baby. The way I feed them might take more time, but it feels safer and more natural. And most importantly, I can see they're eating well and enjoying it. It's day 26, and now they see me as someone who brings food. They get really excited when I arrive. They've already learned how to eat from the syringe without making a mess. No more spilling. And they're even growing new feathers. Their wings are almost fully covered now, and honestly, they all look just like my peanut. Just when I started thinking everything was going as it should, I noticed something worrying. Other babies from Pipi, their mother, started plucking their feathers too. But the strange thing is, they're all well fed, no injuries, just picking at their feathers. My friend Arnel, who is a certified judge in the Budgies exhibition and competition of Bosnia and Herzegovina, explained this to me. He said young budgies sometimes copy what they see, so if they grew up watching this behavior, like feather plucking, they might think it's normal and repeat it when they have chicks one day. It's sad, but it's also a good reminder how important a peaceful and healthy environment is, even for baby budgies. The person called me and said he can't keep Pipi anymore. He asked if I would take her, and of course I said yes. I don't know what kind of conditions she had over there, or even where she was born. Here we go again, teaching new babies how to eat from the syringe. It's always stressful at the beginning. I keep worrying. What if they don't eat enough? What if they starve while trying to adjust to me? But I'll do my best, like always. They deserve a chance to grow up strong and healthy. The next day, it was a little bit easier to feed them. One of the babies started eating from the syringe on its own, which made me really happy. But the other two still needed help, so I gently gave food directly into their crop. It's very important that the food is warm for all of them. Cold food can be dangerous. It can harm their crop and make them sick. But they are good babies. Everything will be fine. I believe in them. This is probably the dirtiest aviary in the world right now. It's the result of over 20 days of neglect. But not because I don't care, actually the opposite. I've been busy building a new aviary, working in the garden, taking care of my family. It's the busiest time of the year for me. Unfortunately, the old aviary didn't get the attention it needed. But now it's time to clean it up and give these birds the space they deserve again. And in less than half an hour, the aviary was clean again. It's already too hot outside, we're experiencing a heat wave, and it's only June. But the budgies don't mind at all. They enjoy every kind of weather in their aviary, sunny, windy, or even rainy. Day 28. Since the first chick hatched. The older baby is super healthy and active, but still not fully covered in feathers. Their mother kept plucking the feathers from their backs, so it might take longer than usual for them to grow in. But what really matters is they're active, loud, and hungry. Hungry babies are healthy babies. They're all used to the syringe now, and they've definitely gotten used to me too. Every time they see me, they start jumping, flapping, and screaming for food. Honestly, they would love to be fed every 30 minutes, but I stick to a schedule, feeding them every 2 to 4 hours. Sometimes I need to go out and I can't be home all day. At this age, a 4-hour gap is perfectly okay. That's the thing with hand feeding. You really don't get much personal space or time. You're completely tied to the feeding schedule. It's like having a newborn every few hours. I'm planning to go to Terra Plaza in Budapest, which is about a 6-hour drive from my home. I actually planned this trip before any of the new babies hatched. So what's the backup plan? Well, if some of the chicks don't start eating on their own by then, I'll leave them with a good friend who can continue feeding them while I'm away. I really hope they grow strong enough for 9 days. That would make everything so much easier. All the babies look almost identical. No special mutations this time. They're all blue, likely taking their body color from the mother. The only thing that might change is the head. They might get the father's yellow head. But overall, it's a full blue team this season. When it comes to feeding, I have to separate them one by one. That's the only way I can keep track of who was already fed and who's still hungry. Otherwise, it's chaos. They all look the same and act like they haven't eaten in days, even if they just had a full crop a few minutes ago. It's 7 in the morning. The aviary doors stayed open all night because of the heat. And it's such a beautiful sight. The new baby budgies are starting to explore. They're leaving the nest and beginning their new adventure. Lena, our adopted female budgie, has claimed this nest, but so far she hasn't laid any eggs. Maybe she's just not ready yet, and that's perfectly okay. Right under her nest, our albino female is raising her chicks. They're growing healthy, strong, and super chubby. This clutch will have an amazing mix of colors. I can't wait to see how they turn out. And hey, look at this harmony. No more anxiety. No more drilling holes in the walls, no aggression, just a calm, balanced flock enjoying their space together. It's amazing to see how peaceful they've become. I feel a big relief. The hand feeding days are almost over. Now, I only feed the youngest once a day. But in just 2 days, they have to be fully independent. I'm leaving for a family vacation, and they'll need to feed themselves, explore, and adjust to their new environment. The big garden aviary, with the rest of the flock. It's a big step, but I believe they're ready. Around 2 to 3 weeks of age, feathers begin to grow over the crop area. That's the upper chest and throat. This means the crop is no longer visible unless it's really full. At the same time, the chick's chest muscles start to develop, and the crop becomes more protected and tucked deeper inside the body. The thin, transparent baby skin is replaced by thicker adult skin, making the crop much harder to see, unless you gently feel it by hand. I think it's safe now. The oldest chick is 46 days old and ready to fly around my room and exercise its wings. They're acting like spoiled babies, but they need to catch up with the others in the aviary to get stronger and be ready to fly and explore with the flock. This little cage is way too small for them. There are 6 budgies in this flock, and that's quite a lot for such a small space. Giving them millet spray bars is a great way to help them transition from liquid to solid foods. Maybe that's why millet spray bars are their favorite treat. They've been eating seeds for almost a week now, but it's good to offer millet from time to time as a special snack. I was expecting them to start flying around and get all excited, but instead they just fell asleep. The next day, same routine. It's day 48, just 2 days before I leave. Today is the big day to release them into the aviary. I'll watch closely to see if they eat and drink water on their own. It's like opening a whole new world for them, a brand new reality. They're in shock because they only knew this small cage. And the little bucket where I fed them in my room. But now, this big aviary is totally mind-blowing for them. This is quite an achievement for me. 5 babies saved from a mother who was plucking their feathers. I hand-fed them for 28 days, and now I feel nothing but pride, pure happiness. Knowing their lives will be better, safer, and full of joy. That's the greatest reward. And now, they join the others, to feel welcome, to realize their flock is much bigger than just the 6 of them. Budgies are flock birds, and they were warmly welcomed. At first they looked unsure, maybe even stressed, but that wasn't true. Within minutes, they started exploring, nibbling, chirping, like they knew this was where they were meant to be, their promised land. I'll check on them in a few hours, just to make sure everything's alright. While I was passing by the aviary, I heard the youngest baby budgie screaming for food. And I just couldn't resist. I rushed to prepare his favorite warm meal. Yes, he eats seeds now, but it's hot outside, and I just wanted to see him happy. So why not? Just one more time? They're all exploring the floor, searching for food, or maybe just pecking out of curiosity. Either way, I poured some seeds into their bath dish. Today is not a bathing day. I honestly worry about how they'll behave while I'm gone. What if something happens in that 1 week I'm away? It's not easy to leave them. I feel much better when I'm around, watching over them, just in case something goes wrong. But I've done everything I can to prepare them. And here they are, my whole flock. All the budgies have found their sleeping perch for the night. I counted them, 27 in total, and no one is outside. It means they're adjusting well, feeling safe, and they already know where to rest. Hello, Tom. The first thing I noticed this morning, none of the baby budgies are looking for me anymore. Everyone is doing their own thing, acting like little adults. More babies are outside now, exploring and flying confidently. And this flock, it really grew. When I stop and think about it, all of this started with Cookie, my very first budgie. He began the chain reaction that led to this moment. Now I have around 30 budgies, maybe even more. It's unbelievable how one small bird changed everything.